So millions of Microsoft Authenticator users have been issued an urgent warning to save all their passwords immediately before a major change takes effect in just hours. The company is phasing out its password management system from tomorrow in a move that will affect 75 million users worldwide who rely on the app daily. And I think to myself, well, I would say this is more of a phone-based thing. Comments if I'm wrong on here. But and I look at Windows 11 and I just think, oh dear God, I mean, I still basically utilize Windows 10, but you could argue, does it utilize me? But because I still, as friends, remote people, when they've got a wee problem with something, and let's face it, it saves a fucking drive based around an inability to, whatever it is. So, I look at this and, I think it's a push to get people to become forcibly dependent on their browser edge. And I mean, call me a cynical individual, but when you work at pretty much all options are bought and paid for, I still find that certain browsers are better or more beneficial to the security of your device or machine or whatever. I mean, Brave, for example, I find still, by and large, I mean, it has strengths and weaknesses, but I would still say it's a better browser. And push towards Edge, which, let's face it, I mean, is monitoring everything you do simply because every update it's forced upon you, and you've got to try and disable, but how effective is that? But yeah, people have become way too comfortable with mobile devices and access to whatever else. And when you look at, for example, London alone, mobile phone theft, and I would not be surprised if there's an awful lot of data on so many people's phones of which only when they realise it's not theirs anymore, it's gone, it's away, do they go, oh my God, that was so important to me. Now, they're only a couple of decades ago, primarily, most people's access to the internet was through a desktop, which I would argue, to this day, is still a benefit. If you're online, look, I get it. When it comes to laptops, notebooks, etc., I mean, primarily, there was a time where it was more about journalists or people on the move, blah, 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 etc., etc. I get that. And of course, the selling of processing power and all this will be done by your phone, of which you're just bathing yourselves in, well, EMFs, and you cannot tell people. But anyway, but if you can avoid interactions online with a phone, if you can do it, if you can get on with your life and have a desktop, for example, because the processing power is better per cost, same with the memory, all the rest of it. So many people buy laptops and they're not worth a fuck considering how much they need to use them. And they've got URLs open galore, so many, tabs with this, blah, 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 that, all the rest of it. And, all you need to do is go into Task Manager and, 100% processing power, blah, blah, blah. And they wonder why it's all slow. And then on top of that, Wi-Fi. Look, if you're clued up at all, and you're in a situation, no matter what you do for a living or day to day, if you can focus on confining it to a desktop, you would be doing yourselves a massive favour. Seriously, I'm astounded what people will download on their phones, which I would argue is the toughest thing to secure. Nothing's secure, realise that, But I would still say desktops are by far the best option for you to pursue. And if you're telling me, hey, look, Scott, if I didn't have my phone, I get it. But are you happy? Really? Seriously? Anyway, your thoughts, and I'll speak to you soon.